everyone, and welcome to the National School Game Show 2012. We're into our 5th show of the NSG season. Along the way, we are discovering new and promising sports talent as the competition heats up. I'm Nurul Hafiza, but you can call me Fiza.
And I'm Aloysius. You know, Fiza, every week we showcase the latest scores and provide all the updates from each and every match. But you know what's great about this show? All those who are scoring all the goals and breaking all the records are those right here in our midst.
That's right, Aloy. These star athletes and emerging talents could be your friends, classmates, or even neighbours.
It's really nice to see all of you heading down to the stands and supporting your friends through their triumphs and challenges.
So if you want to see more of your relatives, classmates, or even yourself, you can catch the highlights on our VOXSPORTS and Facebook pages, as well as on www.singaporesports.tv.
Also remember to spread the word to all your family and friends and allow them to share the passion.
Now, every week you will have a chance to win vouchers totaling $300, sponsored by Western Corporation, Singapore's premier soccer store. We'll give you the contest details later in the show.
Alright, Fiza, let's not wait any further and move on to our very first story of the show.
This week, the B Division Girls Football Final took place.
2 years ago, Queensway Secondary School was in the final. This year, they play Woodland Secondary School as they face off for the title.
The final of the SSSC FAS National Inter-School Football Championships 2012 was held at the Tampines Stadium. The B Division girls from Woodland Secondary School and Queensway Secondary School faced off in an intense encounter. But it was Woodland Secondary which attacked more in the first half. However, the Queensway defence stopped them time and again as the teams went into half-time deadlocked. Woodland started from where they left off and continued to attack the Queensway defence in the second half. And their perseverance finally paid off as they finally broke through the Queensway defence. They slotted the ball past Queensway's keeper to go 1-0 up. They were en route to the title, but it wouldn't be long before Queensway's girls equalised. Queensway Secondary School then went on the offensive, but their attacks were not successful as both teams could not be separated at full time. The match went to extra time and it was Woodlands that broke through their opponent's defence first. A mix-up in the Queensway defence allowed Nur Fatin from Woodland Secondary School to score the golden goal and win the match with a scoreline of 2-1. At the final whistle, the Woodlands team celebrated the win as they lifted the cup for the very first time.
Actually, lost for words. I really jumped up and down after winning his first ever B Division National Championship for our school.
The third and fourth placing match was between Siglap Secondary School and Hongkar Secondary School as both teams were hungry for third place. But the teams were too evenly matched and they could not be separated within 90 minutes and extra time. The match would move into a penalty shootout in which Siglap took the early lead to put the pressure on Hongkar Secondary School. Hongkar crumbled under the pressure as they missed their spot kicks and simply could not score from the penalty kicks. Siglap Secondary School's girls took full advantage of Hongkar's inability to score as they converted from the spot in their first 3 attempts to win the match through penalties with a scoreline of 3-0. Siglap took home third place and would surely be vying for top spot in next year's tournament.
Like I've said before, the ladies sure make the beautiful game of football much more interesting.
From the field to the volleyball court, we have the highlights and key results of the A Division Boys and Girls Volleyball preliminary rounds.
The preliminary rounds of the A Division National Inter-School Volleyball Championships 2012 started off this year with a total of 18 girls teams and 18 boys teams being split into 4 groups each to compete for a spot in this year's quarterfinals. All of the preliminary round games were held at the PESEB indoor courts. While all the girls teams in the tournament battled hard, some certainly proved themselves to be front runners. They easily booked their place in the quarterfinals. The boys division also had a very competitive preliminary round, with the seeded teams leading the charge for a place in the quarterfinals. But only 8 teams would get the opportunity to wave their school's flags in the next round. Of these 8, some already earned the tag of favourites. And here are the teams that have booked their place in this year's A Division Inter-School Volleyball quarterfinals.
Well, there's still quite a while before we get to the final rounds of the A Division Volleyball Championship this year. We'll definitely get you updated. Okay, it's time for some Taekwondo now.
Yes, that's right, and it has been 3 years since Taekwondo or TKD was introduced into the NSG. And last year, Hwa Chong Institution did the double by winning both the boys and girls titles.
There's some new contenders to deal with this year, Aloy. Let's see what happens.
Toa Payoh Sports Hall hosted the A Division National Inter-School Taekwondo Championships. Participants from the various junior colleges competed in both individual and team Poomsae events. Poomsae is the artistic aspect of Taekwondo where competitors perform preset routines. The competition was split into various classes. Participants were judged based on accuracy of movements and aesthetic appeal of routines. And there was stiff competition in both the boys and girls divisions. Hwa Chong Institution were the defending champions and favourites in both divisions. But in the girls' competition, Temasek and Jurong Junior College gave them a run for their money. And in the boys' tournament, last year's runners-up Meridian Junior College were back with a vengeance this year, hungry for the title. Ho Hong Wei from MJC took home 4 gold medals and the title of Best Male Performer, allowing MJC to win the boys' title. Jurong Junior College won the girls' title for the very first time.
I'm very surprised and shocked that MJ managed to win first for this A Division competition, and I'm very proud of my team members and happy that we managed to get this award.
Physically, we had a lot of training. I believe everyone has. Also mentally, well, I try to keep myself very calm and follow all the advices of my coaches and teammates and teachers. When they tell me to relax, then I'll relax. When they advise meditation, then a bit of meditation. Going through a pattern in my mind over and over again, I believe all these helped greatly.
Well, Aloy, those were some cool routines, right? You know, I've learned some martial arts before. I used to learn Muay Thai.
I don't care. Well, it's time for us to go for a short commercial break, but stay tuned because you'll see who made waves at the A and B Division swimming finals and find out if Dunman Secondary managed a double again at this year's B Division Boys and Girls Basketball Championships.
Also, we have details of our weekly contest. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back to the NSG Show 2012.
Well, you are right on time for the details of our weekly contest. If you haven't taken part yet, this is how you do it.
Listen up for a simple question at the end of today's show. Just send us the correct answer and you will stand a chance to win vouchers totaling $300. Our prizes are proudly sponsored by Western Corporation, Singapore's premier soccer store.
Email our answers to VOXSPORTS.net with your full name, IC number and contact numbers. We'll have 7 winners each week, but please submit only 1 entry per person.
Let's move on to our next story, the B Division Basketball Finals.
Dunman Secondary went against Nanyang Girls High in the girls' finals.
While the Dunman boys faced stiff competition against Unity Secondary School in the final. Let's see who came out champs.
The Jurong East Sports and Recreation Centre played host to the Converse National Inter-School Basketball Championships. And the girls were up first with Nanyang Girls High facing defending champions Dunman Secondary. The teams went into half-time tied at 34 points each and Nanyang was determined to keep up the pace. But Dunman would answer Nanyang point for point and kept the match close. They used their speed to their advantage to score time and again with their fast breaks. The game was truly too close to call even towards the end of the third quarter as both teams took their chances well and kept up the pace. Despite Dunman carving out a slim lead, there was still all to play for. Nanyang planned to close the gap and win the match in the fourth quarter, and they executed well on their plan. The girls from Nanyang moved the ball well and matched Dunman point for point to close the gap. But as the fourth quarter progressed, Dunman's shooters seemed to be on fire as they nailed a 3-pointer to stretch their slim lead to 5 points. But Nanyang just simply wouldn't admit defeat. They strengthened the defense and came right back to erase Dunman's 5-point lead and took a 2-point lead of their own. Finals MVP Tan Jia Chi then scored a 3-pointer to stretch the lead to 5 points. She then helped Nanyang Girls High to close out the game as they staged the upset of this year's tournament, beating Dunman Secondary School 54-49. The boys were up next as Unity Secondary met Dunman Secondary in the final. Unity Secondary School started the game strong. They were hungry to win as they tried to avoid a repeat of last year's final where they lost their title to Dunman. But Dunman had other plans as the defending champions ended the first quarter with an 8-point lead. Dunman Secondary's boys continued to dominate the game with a combination of accurate shooting and fast breaks. Unity tried to find a way to get themselves back into the game, but it was to no avail as Dunman's boys never lost control of the game. Their offense continued to break the Unity defense. The game ended with Dunman beating their opponents 69-57 to retain their title.
I think that our team did quite well at the start and the end, but at the middle we fumbled a bit, but we all believed that we'll win and we came back strong. And yeah.
Actually, my expectation and the team wasn't very high. We just come here and try our best because we find that we don't give each other so much high pressure, like we must come here and sure win. We just give our best down here today and put up a good game. No matter we win or lose, make it a good memory for us.
Some wonderful skills and great teamwork, Aloy. No matter what, even if you're the star player, you still need your teammates to help you win. The basketball tournament really showed it.
Well, let's move on to another kind of competition, Fiza, where this time our athletes showed splashes of brilliance as they dived towards victory.
I know what you're getting at. It's the A and B division swimming finals held at the Singapore Sports School.
Let's see who splashed their way towards glory in the last 2 days of this year's swimming competition.
The Singapore Sports School hosted the 53rd Milo National Inter-School Swimming Championships. Supporters packed the stands as the competition for the B Division girls and boys and the A Division girls and boys got underway. The swimmers would compete in 2 days of final races as they hoped to add to their school's bid to win the title. The second day of competition featured more races, including the relay races, which pitted A Division boys and girls champions Raffles Institution in direct competition against their rivals. But the highlight of the 2 days of competition would come on the second day in the B Division 100 meters boys backstroke final. Kwa Cheng Wen of Anglo-Chinese School Independent, who had already broken the meet record for the 200 meters butterfly, broke the national record in this event with a time of 56.63 seconds.
I think that I did pretty well considering I did not taper or rest for this meet, and the records that I broke today came in sort of like as a bonus because I really wasn't expecting anything much. I was expecting to go below 57 for my 100 back, which I did, and I was satisfied with my swim. And I think I can go faster if I taper and rest before going into the water for 100 meters backstroke.
Well, up next we have the semi-finals of the A Division Inter-School Squash competition. It's great to see that squash has made a comeback among our athletes. After the craze in the 80s, the sport kind of died down in the 90s. But the boys and girls in this year's competition showed that the sport does have its fair share of nail-biting moments. Let's catch the action.
The Kallang Squash and Tennis Centre hosted the semi-finals of the A Division National Inter-School Squash Championship. The key match in the boys' semi-final was between Anglo-Chinese School Independent and Raffles Institution. And it was ACSI which started out stronger. The champions of last year's B Division tournament played well against RI and forced them onto the back foot early in the 5-game series. The boys from Raffles Institution, however, would show their caliber as last year's runners-up kept the game close all the way as they matched ACSI's form. But it would be ACSI who staged an upset as they beat RI with a score of 3-2. They will now face Hwa Chong in the final. Over in the girls' semi-final, the key fixture would again involve Raffles Institution. This time, the girls from RI, who were the tournament's defending champions, faced off against Anglo-Chinese Junior College. The girls from ACJC tried to assert themselves in the match and did win a game to give the favourites Raffles Institution a good contest. But the end result would never be in question as the Raffles Institution girls dominated the match from start to finish. In the end, it was a straightforward victory for RI as they beat ACJC 4-1.
All my teammates played very well. At first, when we got the lineup, we were quite nervous and jittery inside. But I think everyone rose to the occasion and played quite well during their match. And
I wasn't disappointed by any of them. Everyone put up a good show today. Yeah.
Well, from the looks of it, there will be some close finishes in this year's squash tournament. Well, let's take a short break before we move on. But don't go anywhere because we'll be back with the highlights from the A Division Football quarterfinals, and we will also see which school clinched the A Division Inter-School Table Tennis Championship. Plus, listen out for this week's contest question. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the NSG Show 2012. It's time for us to give you our weekly contest question. And this week's contest question is, which two schools will meet in the A Division Girls Squash Final? Which two schools will meet in the A Division Girls Squash Finals?
Email your answers to this address with your full name, IC number and contact details. As usual, there are only 7 winners each week. So send us your answers quickly to stand a chance to win vouchers totaling $300.
Our prizes are proudly sponsored by Western Corporation, Singapore's premier soccer store.
Well, right now we have action from the much anticipated A Division Boys Football Championship. We'll catch the boys at the quarterfinal group stages.
Will the favourites go to the finals, or will there be a couple of surprises in this year's competition? Let's find out.
Meridian JC hosted 2 of the quarterfinal matches in the A Division National Inter-School Football Championship. The first match featured Victoria Junior College playing against Millennia Institute. It was VJ that created the early chances with their trademark long balls, forcing MI to make mistakes in their half. And it was yet again a perfect long ball that gave VJC a well-deserved lead in the match as the long ball found the VJC striker's head. That gave them the lead 1-0 before half-time. And as the teams headed into half-time, Millennia Institute was the team that needed to come back into the game stronger. And MI did so, as a clearance from deep within their own half allowed their striker, Basindapal Singh, to carve out a chance out of nothing. Showing great composure in front of goal amidst pressure from the VJC defenders, he placed the ball into the back of the net, giving underdogs MI a chance at a result against the favourites. VJ later earned a penalty, but a brilliant save by the MI keeper allowed the match to end 1-1. The second game saw defending champions Meridian Junior College face off against Anglo-Chinese School Independent. Meridian JC's team was expected to win the match with ease as they played in front of a vocal home crowd. But ACSI wouldn't be counted out of the match as they kept up with MJC's pace early on. But it was MJC who went ahead first. A long ball from midfield found the Meridian captain, who finished brilliantly, lobbing the ball past a stranded ACSI keeper. That allowed MJC to control the match till half-time. ACSI tried to come back into the game after half-time as their wingers tried to create chances for the ACSI strikers to score the equalizer. But it was MJC that ended up extending their lead. A fumble by the ACSI keeper allowed MJC's striker to slot the ball into the back of the net. The match ended 2-0 in favour of MJC.
Well, that was a very exciting first round of matches, Fiza.
And you know it, we'll bring you the highlights and updates here on the National School Game Show.
Well, up next, we managed to chat up with the champions of juggling and overhead kicks.
Yes, that's right. We caught up with the B Division Sepak Takraw champions, Yishun Secondary School.
Feel so honoured to be the champions because after disappointment last year, we did train very hard to win this year. Most of my best friends, they played Sepak Takraw, so they pulled me in. So yeah, I went for trainings. I didn't even know what to wear for training, so I just took any of my shoes in the wardrobe, and yeah, in primary 6 I got selected. So I represented for the school. Well, we just had to listen to our coach advices and be mentally prepared. And just one time we went for the Malaysia trip, and we did learn a lot. Last year I was the vice captain, and for last year's captain Nazruddin, he was a very positive person, and I did learn a lot from him. And from there, I tried to be better And from there also, I didn't hesitate to share my tips and my experience that I gained from all the clubs I learned outside. I have to understand the team, understand them as a person. So to understand them, I have to be like one of them also. We really communicate really well. So we learn a lot from each other. So we share things and stuff. It'd be an honor to represent the senior national team and play against the kings of Sepak Takraw, which is Thailand, and be well known one day. Firstly, I would thank God for listening to our prayers every single match, and secondly, my parents for supporting me all this while, and thirdly, the teachers and the coach for sacrificing a lot. And lastly, to all Yishun Knights, thank you for coming, and especially all the secondary 5, all my classmates. They did their part to support us, and without them, we can't go this far.
When I first came in, I was just the assistant teacher in charge. But in 2010, I took over as the main teacher in charge. So it's about 5 years total as a Sepak Takraw teacher in charge. When I was younger in my teens, I was just a recreational player. Most of the time played at open spaces and void decks, that's it. It feels great, wonderful. It's for the kids actually, because after the heartbreak of last year's loss at the final, the kids actually deserve it because they've been training so hard for it. And furthermore, the kids really wanted to create history for the school. It's been like, I think, forever since we've been into the national finals. So last year was the national finals, and this year they actually brought back the glory. So I think the kids are proud, and I'm proud to be their teacher in charge. I don't actually coach them per se, but I'm like the father figure, the mentor. So I always remind them that discipline, first and foremost, comes before your skills. Because with the mental discipline, you will go further in your game, in and out of court. You don't get into trouble, and then when you're on court, you're focused. I always tell them, end of the day, I'm not the one in the court, it's them. I may have, the coaches, myself and the other teachers may have trained them and prepared them for the game. But on the court, the ball is literally in their hands. So it's up to them to play, so focus on the game and don't worry about what's happening around them and go for the win, that's it. Not only do they train in school, they actually put in effort to join clubs and then train with, they even train, let's say the better players, they will take time to mentor those interested in the game outside of school and after school. So there's a whole Sepak Takraw culture in this school where it doesn't matter if they're Malay, Indian, Chinese, they'll play together. I'd like to thank the whole school, especially my principal, for believing in us, that we could actually get the national champions after last year's loss, and the whole school for rallying behind us and believing in us, for supporting us, and all the other teachers, the players, family, and everyone.
We are Yishun Secondary. You are watching the National School Game Show.
The Yishun team seems to be the epitome of perseverance and determination, don't they, Aloy?
That's right, Fiza. And if you know of any classmate or schoolmate who has been a source of inspiration to your school team, do give us his or her details. Let us, the VOXSPORTS crew, know why we should interview him or her. And if your story is really an interesting one, we will come by your school and conduct a special interview with them.
Just write to us, it'll be fun. Plus, you get to see yourself on television, our Facebook page and our website. Alright, let's move on to the much-awaited table tennis finals, where the boys from Raffles Institution went against Nanyang Junior College.
And in the girls' final, Hwa Chong Institution looks set to claim their second title in a row against an informed Raffles Institution.
Toa Payoh Sports Hall hosted the final of the A-Division National Inter-School Table Tennis Championship. The atmosphere was electric as the final showdown started with underdogs Nanyang Junior College leading Raffles Institution in the first singles 2-1. But RI's first singles player, Kerry Tan, would show his caliber by tying the match at 2 sets apiece. He completed his comeback in the fifth and final set of the first singles to give RI a 1-0 lead in the match. The first doubles game saw RI's pairing dominate their opponents from Nanyang. The RI boys won the game easily and doubled their lead in the match to 2-0. But captain of NYJC's team, Zhang Dijing, then stepped up to turn the tide for the underdogs. He battled RI's captain Dylan Ban in a rematch of the individual under-20 boys final. Dijing won the game in straight sets to give NYJC a fighting chance in the match. That momentum propelled NYJC to win the following doubles game to tie the match at 2 games apiece. But RI's final player Brian Teo proved to be too strong for his opponent. His opponent's defensive play was no match for Bryant's offense as he won the game in straight sets and allowed RI to win the match 3-2 and lift the A Division title for the 7th straight year. In the A Division Girls final, Hwa Chong and Raffles Institution were tied at 1 game apiece after the first 2 games. But in the second singles game, Hwa Chong took control and took a 2-1 lead in the match. HCI then won the 4th game to win the match 3-1 and successfully defend the title they won last year.
It's great, man. It's great. Part of Team Raffles. Yeah, we're all one great family, and yeah, we come to win. So thank you for everyone who support us. Without whom this win won't be possible. Yeah, thank you.
The atmosphere was simply electrifying, Fiza. I must say it was a fantastic finish to the final.
Speaking of finish, it's my turn to say this week we have come to the end of our show.
That's right, Fiza, and don't forget to join us again next week for yet another jam-packed edition of the National Schools Game Show.
Don't forget to visit our website at this address to comment, like or share our stories with your family and friends. Remember, share the passion.
Also remember to like our Facebook page and follow us on our Twitter account for all the highlights and updates.
Here's wishing you a great sporting week ahead.
Take care and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.